insane because every other nation on the planet Earth is going to have concern for their own people, have love for their own brother. Get Leviticus 19:17. This is where we found out because the Christian church ain't teaching this. The hood ain't teaching this. This is what we see today in our black community, that nobody cared for one another. Right. Nobody even willing to come up and talk to us about the Bible. Right. You see black men who actually got concern for the Bible, who want to learn the Bible, and you ain't got a single pastor come out here and deal with none of us young black men. And then you wonder why are all these black children in the hood with guns shooting everybody? Because you ain't dealing with them. Right. You don't even want to talk to them. What the hell? Read that real quick.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Right, the Bible says you're not supposed to hate your brother in your heart. You're supposed to have love for every one of y'all brothers. But we don't see that in the Christian church. That's why we was reading earlier. You'll go land and sea trying to make somebody a Christian, but y'all make them 2 times more the servant of hell. They don't even have love for their own people when they come out them church. Right. Read it.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
That's why the Bible says if you have love for your people, you should rebuke them. But we ain't have one single Christian pastor. If we wrong, thus saith the Lord God in the Bible. If we actually supposed to be keeping Sunday, worshiping white Jesus, going celebrating Good Friday, why ain't a single pastor come up and show love by telling us, hey, y'all dead wrong for that. Y'all should not be keeping that day. Y'all talking about the Sabbath day. No, the Sabbath day got changed to Sunday. You ain't have a single pastor do that. Why? Because they don't love you. They want your money and they gone. That's why as soon as the church service is over, they gone within 2 minutes. The pastor gone before everyone else was gone. He pulled off in his Bentley. Read that.
And not suffer sin upon him.
And not suffer sin upon them. That's what we're trying to show our people. That in order to show love to our people, we got to show us commandments. That's why we are so heavily stressing that, guess what? We should not be keeping Sunday. Get that real quick. Exodus 31 verse 16. We should not be keeping Sunday worship, Palm Sunday, none of that. Hey, my sister over there, do you think we should be celebrating the church on Sunday? You go to church, my sister? You don't go to church? Why not, my sister, if I may ask? We just want to get a consensus from our older sisters on what's going on in our communities. Because you see our young men out here, they going crazy, sis. How can we stop that so they don't affect you? They don't hurt you, sis. Right. Read on.
It's the book of Exodus chapter 31 verse 16.
Right.
Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath.
Right. That's what God gave the children of Israel. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are supposed to keep God's Sabbath day, not Sunday. The Sabbath is on the 7th day. We'll read that. Read on.
To observe the Sabbath throughout their generations.
Throughout our generations, meaning as long as we continue to have children, we should be observing the Sabbath day. So why is it that this was written, but now all of a sudden God was like, you know what? I know I told y'all to do this throughout your generations, but never mind. We're changing it to Sunday. Show me in the Bible where God had that contemplation. Read on.
For a perpetual covenant.
For a perpetual covenant, meaning forever. How you doing, my brother, man? All right, so what we out here teaching our people, bro? Let me ask you a real quick question. Where you from?
I'm from Maryland.
You from Maryland? What's your father? Is he so-called African-American, Jamaican, Haitian, Puerto Rican?
African-American.
African-American. So I know this sign is kind of small, but if you look over here real quick, brother. All right. You see this right here? We got the so-called Black Americans posted up, right? So these are the names that they gave us during slavery. They gave us names like American Black, which you said your father was, right? Right. We got names that they was giving us like Puerto Ricans, Native Americans, but God calls you a child of the tribe of Judah. That's your God-given nationality. Because when we ask our brothers and sisters where we come from, we get like 30 different answers. You said African American, right? If I ask another brother, he'd be like, oh, but now we ask today, what's Black history beyond slavery? We don't have an answer.
Hey, you was ever in the military, bro? So I come from a military family. You come from a military family? How you think I know that? Give me Sirach 19:29. Bring it out. I'm gonna show you something that they do in the military, and a lot of us in military families pass down. I'm gonna show you what God has to say about it. Because what we out here teaching you is your nationality, as the officer was going over with you, and what happened to us.
Right.
We went into slavery, right? There's got to be a reason why that happened to us, right? Because it didn't happen to everybody. That's our history, right?
That's true.
We're going to show you the reasons why that happened. Because God gave us laws to keep. We chose not to keep those laws.
Right.
Therefore, things like this happen. And I'm going to show you one of those laws right now. Watch this. I'm going to show you how I knew either you was military or your family was military. Watch this.
The book of Sirach, chapter 19, verse 29. A man may be known by his look.
The Bible said a man may be known by his look. So when I look at you, when I see your appearance, I can see you came from some type of military background. Either it was you or your mother, your father. Who was in? Your father?
Yes, sir.
What branch?
He was in the army.
In the army. You know how I can tell? Because of how your face is cut. That's an army cut right there. And I'm going to show you. Watch this. Give me Leviticus. As a matter of fact, read the rest of it. Yep. Because it said a man may be known by his look. That's deep, ain't it? Somebody can look at you and be like, all right, this brother got military background.
Right.
Just off looking at you. Watch this.
And one that have understanding by his countenance. When thou meetest him, a man's attire in excessive laughter and gait. Shew what he is.
So, I can tell you was raised by somebody that was in the military because how you shave your beard, how you stand, your countenance. Your countenance before me lets me know somebody that had that military discipline dealt with this young man right here. So watch this. Watch this.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 27. Ye shall not round the corners of thy head.
Now, we see our people do that a lot in society, right? They shave the head bald. Michael Jordan, R. Kelly back in the day. A lot of our men, when they start getting older and get thin, they like, hey, I can't be walking around forehead bald. I just got to shave it off, right? But the Bible said you shall not what?
Round the corners of your head.
Meaning you can't shave your head bald. That was an Egyptian custom that the Lord told us not to do. Watch this.
Neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard.
And we ain't supposed to cut our beards off. That's why, because in the military, they teach you to do that. Oh, well, you got to put a gas mask on so it fits properly around your face. The gas mask will fit just fine with the beard on your face. They let Shiites in the army wear their beard. You got to get a profile to keep a beard on your face in the army. But guess what? They teach us to shave the beard off. Keep the mustache right here, shave the rest of the beard off. But God said what?
Ye shall not mar the corners of thy beard.
We're not supposed to shave our beard off. When you read in the Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary, it tells you, yeah, we got the Zondervan's. I'm going to show you what the beard is for a man. Because it's good. There's certain things that the Army will give you, like discipline, timeliness, dedication to the mission. Things like that are honorable, things we're supposed to be doing. But the traditions, the appearance, things like that, we have to match everything we do up with the Bible. You understand? If God said don't do it, we got to stop sinning. For a man to shave his beard off, God said that's what? Sin, right? So watch this. You got it?
Yeah.
Beard? Read it. And this is the importance of it. Watch this, my brother. Thank you for standing here with us. I appreciate you. That military background showing up in you, bro. You disciplined, you listening, you attentive. I'll praise you. You raised well, I can tell.
Zondervan Bible Compact Dictionary, page 72. Beard, a badge of manly dignity.
You hear that? Read.
As a sign of mourning, it was a custom to pluck out or cut it off.
As a sign of mourning, death. It was a sign that we was under some type of duress. You'll read in the scriptures where bad things happen, and the prophet said they would rip their clothes, or certain times you just got you ever heard the statement like I'm pulling my hair out right now because you're stressed. It was duress. You understand?
The Israelites were forbidden to shave off the corners of their beards.
The Israelites were forbidden to shave off the corners of their beards, meaning mar the beard like that. You understand? So that goes back to the importance of what he was teaching you, that you're an Israelite. Now there's more than just understanding, because a lot of our people starting to figure out we the people of this book. But guess what? We're held to a higher standard. The reason why we go through all the hell we go through in society is because we left away from this, what God told us to do. So I want you to understand that point so you can understand why he's going over this with you. You understand? What's your nationality?
Nationality is Judah.
That's
Judah.
right.
There you
That's
go.
right.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
Here, yeah, we're going to show you one more part on that beard thing, why it's important. Read that.
The Israelites were forbidden to shave off the corners of their beards, probably because it was regarded as a heathenish sign.
Right. So again, that like the officer was bringing out, in the military, that's a sign that they know that, hey, this man's being converted. He is under our mind right now, if that makes sense. When you go into the military, what they have to do, they have to reform your mindset. You have to go through certain trainings. You have to go through certain things in order to be a proper soldier, right? So now once your beard is shaved off, they're like, okay, he's under us. This is our sign that he's with us. He's one of us, a heathen, right? So now let me show you something real quick. Yeah, Exodus, you said what?
American.
Yeah, exactly. You're American-minded now. You're for their mission. But what we should be is for God's mission, right? Do you believe in the Bible at all?
I do.
Okay, all praises, all praises. Let me show you something about God real quick that they don't teach us in the Christian church. Exodus 15 verse 3 real quick. Because we were talking about the military, right? I want to show you something about God that they never tell us about God's personality or how he's like. But this is us as men, we need to start understanding this so we can start understanding what God wants from us. What we got to do for God, right? Check this out.
The book of Exodus, chapter 15, verse 3.
Right.
The Lord is a man of war.
Have you ever heard that before? That God is a man of war? He is a God of war? Have you ever heard that before? They always say God is what? Love, peace, kindness. God is a man. He says he's a jealous God, a God of war, a great and terrible God. Do you think when he comes back on the earth, rainbows are going to come flying out the sky? Everyone's going to be happy like, wow. Do you think that's going to happen in your own personal head? And it's fine if you do, but that's not going to happen. I'm going to show you biblically how that day is going to be. Get that real quick in Joel chapter 3, I believe it is. Joel chapter 3, verse 5. It says a day of darkness. All right, but like we were saying, God is a man of war. So now if you want to be a follower of God, guess what? That means we have to start being under his military. Not under the white man's military, but all right, if God's a man of war, how can I be inducted into his army? How can I do the things that are pleasing to him? So one of the things that we were showing you is that in contrast, you have America's army, which makes us shave our beard off. You join God's army, you join the God of war, guess what? He wants you to have a beard on your face. That's how he wants you to conduct yourself as an Israelite man, as a warrior of Christ. You see what I'm saying? That's how he wants us to roll and walk. So do you think that's something hard to do, or do you think that's something that's like, okay, that's feasible? I can make that happen.
Yes, sir. So that just so makes sense to me.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah. So it makes sense. It makes sense. That's good. I'm sorry, my name's Gideon. What's your name again, brother?
And my name is Bishop.
Bishop? Nice to meet you, Bishop. All right, so like we were saying, Bishop, these are the things that God is requiring of us as men. Because remember, we were talking about earlier about slavery, right? I'm going to show you that actually that's designed by the Most High God. That slavery was not a coincidence whatsoever. But you can actually read about all the things that happen here. Us having chains on our neck, the so-called Native Americans being conquered by the conquistadors. God prophesied that all the way back in the time of old. Right. The only reason we don't know about that is because our people refuse to read the Bible as it is written. We'll go to the Christian church, and like you said, you'll read about God is peace, God is love. You'll read about Sunday worship. You'll read about Jesus Christ dying on the cross, but you don't read about the nitty-gritty. That's what we're trying to get to, is like, what does God really want from us? Yeah, because everyone says, well, how do I get into heaven? God gives you the answer. You got to read it, though. You see what I'm saying? Right. So we'll get into all that with you, Bishop, all right? You got that in, Joel? All praise, thank you.
Book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 1.
Right.
Blow ye the trumpet in Zion,
right,
and sound an alarm in my holy mountain.
Right. So when you hear an alarm, is that a good or a bad thing? If we were to hear signs right now, what do you think would be going on?
Just trouble.
Trouble, right? It could be a hurricane. It could be a military attack. You're hearing sirens. Something good's probably not going to happen, right? Well, in the last days, God says you're going to hear sirens in the last days. That you're going to hear trumpets going on, or what we would call today the sirens, the alarms today, right? So in the last days, you'll hear that. Read on.
Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble.
Right. It said, now let everyone be in fear when that day comes. When you hear sirens all throughout the land, when you hear the PSA announcements go across your TV, it said, be in trouble. Why? Read.
For the day of the Lord cometh.
The day of the Lord is coming. Everyone says that's a good thing. No, the day of the Lord is going to be a day of trouble. It's going to be a fearful thing. Everyone on the planet Earth is going to be in shock and amazement, like, what is going on right now? Why? Read.
For it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness
Right.
and of gloominess,
Right.
a day of clouds and of thick darkness.
Right. That's what God said he's going to do when he comes on the earth. Well, like we said, in the Christian church, they'll teach us it's going to be all happy. No, when God and Christ come on the earth, it is not going to be a good day. Because why? Because God is going to come for vengeance on that day. He's going to come for judgment on that day. That's what he's coming. If God got to come personally do something on this earth, that is not a good thing. That's because do you see God dealing with us on the day-to-day like that? Do we see the hand of God just going across the clouds? We don't see that. So if he has to take his time out to come personally down, it is not a good thing. Not a good thing. Read on. Yeah.
Verse 11. The Lord shall utter his voice before his army.
Right.
For his camp is very great.
Right. His army is very great. Read.
For he is strong that executeth his word.
Right.
For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible.
Right. That's what the day of the Lord is going to be. Right. So now when we